Hi Stampers, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make this spinner card. I decided to do a Halloween theme since we've got Halloween coming up, and it uses lots of great product from the Stampin' catalog. So let's get started. Just set that aside. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is start with some Wicked Fun Specialty Designer Series paper, and this piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to use our word window punch, and I'm going to turn it upside down so I can see what I'm doing. I am going to slide it all the way in so it butts up against the edge, and punch, move it over so that the edge of the punch lines up with the edge of the Designer Series paper. And again, slide it in all the way. That's how you can make sure that you've got it in a straight line. Move it over again, lining up this side of the punch with the edge of the Designer Series paper, and punch again. So that's going to be our track. Okay. All right, set that aside. Now I've got basic black card base. I'm going to fold that in half. Use my bold folder, make it nice and crisp. And I've got a piece of old olive cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use my cutter kit, which is a fabulous tool. I love this distressing tool. Each one of these notches does exactly the same thing, so it doesn't matter which one I use. I'm going to slide my cardstock in there, apply a bit of pressure, and just go in one direction, just like that. And that just roughens up the edges, and you can see that I've already done the other 3 sides. Okay, I use a bit of snail, and attach that to my card base, which is just a standard size card. All right, so let's go back to this here for a minute. And I'm going to use lots of Stampin' Dimensionals for this card. Okay, so you can see I've already got some on there. And I'm doing 2 layers, and you'll see why in a minute. So this will just take a minute. I couldn't do this in advance because I need to slide my punch in there. So, and with this project, if you're not using our Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, you do want something that is round and not square. These ones are, what, an octagon, I think? So they will work. Okay, so I've got my dimensionals on there. Now I've got 2 pennies, and I'm going to use another Stampin' Dimensional, stick them in between, peel off the backing, and I'm going to position this over top, making sure that it's not stuck to it. Put my other penny on there. So the reason why we use double layers of the Stampin' Dimensionals is because the penny has some thickness, so we need to make sure that this is going to pop up higher so that the penny doesn't get caught on our cardstock. Okay, so now what we can do is peel off the backing of these and attach it to our card base. Oops, that one's already off. That one's already off. Okay. Oh, another little tip. When you do this one in the center, you want to make sure that it's not too close to your track because you don't want your penny to get caught on it. Okay, so let's make sure I've got it going the right way. I'm going to stick that down right there. Okay, and then I'm just going to move it aside for just a second so we can do our focal point. I've got the bat punch, which I am going to punch out of basic black textured cardstock. And then to give him a little bit of dimension, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my bone folder in the center of his body and kind of fold him up. And then I'm going to use it to curl his wings down. That just gives him a bit more dimension and looks like he's flying. Okay, so let's set that there. Now, what I've done is I've used our scallop circle punch and punched out a scallop circle. Now I want this card to look a little bit more distressed and not so much like a flower. So I'm going to show you a little trick with this punch. If you punch one out and then just use a little bit of our Dotto, which is our temporary adhesive, stick it on a piece of scrap paper, and then slide the punch in again and off-center it. So hopefully you can see that. And then punch. And it is a little stiffer because we are going through that extra layer of cardstock. So now you can peel off your backing and you get a different shape. All right, so I'm going to do that. And then I've already pre-punched a 1 1/4 inch circle in Whisper White and sponged around the edges in black. And then I did a 1 3/8 in the Cajun Craze, which matches the fabulous designer series paper, in textured cardstock. And I use my cutter kit to roughen around the edges on that bigger circle. So I'm going to attach this, a bit of snail in the center here. And then we're going to use a little mini glue dot to stick this on. Where are my glue dots? Here they are. So instead of picking that off with my finger, I am just going to put that right on there, peel it off, and we are good to go. Attach that on there, and same with the bat. I'll use a mini glue dot. Attach him to the center there, and then we just need a greeting. So I have got a strip of old olive cardstock. I'm going to use the Modern Label punch. And you'll notice that some of these are different styles of punches. This is our older style of punch. The punch is still available, except when you order it now, it will be in the newer style, which are fabulous. Okay, but it is still the same size and shape. I've got my Modern Label punch there. I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use the Happy Halloween greeting from the Teeny Tiny Wishes and some basic black ink. Stamp that on there, and then use the word window, which is the one that we used for the track. Slide that in. Hopefully you can see. Punch it out. And then I'm going to attach it to my Modern Labels. You notice that I slid it over just a bit because I want to use one of our new Black Flourish designer jewels. You can see that I've used the flourish on another project already. And when I use these, I like to use my either paper piercing tool or some scissors just to pick them off. Stick it on there. That adds just a little bit of bling. And then we'll attach it to our card. And actually this, like that. We'll put it over here. All right. So there's the card. Now, a little tip. You will notice that in the beginning, it takes a bit of wear before it will actually spin nicely. So you can run it back and forth. And just play with it a bit, and then it will start to spin nicely, just like this one does. Okay, oh, I should show you what I did with the inside as well. On this one, what I did was I used a piece of Whisper White, since we're using a black card base, and I used the negative space from the bats that I had punched out. I positioned them on there, and then just used a black sponge to sponge in there. So that's another way that you can get even more use from your punches. And then, of course, you know that I like to keep the scraps of my DSPN cardstock, so I've added a couple in there just to tie and decorate it a bit. All right, so there you go. This is another one that I did as a birthday card, and this one spins really nicely. So, and you can see that you can add in greetings as well using your Stampin' Majig. You can put greetings in that word window, the slot there. So that's another great way to decorate your card. All right, so I hope you like it. Visit my blog if you'd like some more inspiration at www.stampedtreasures.com. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.